Guess who's here?
Tucker, thank you for coming on. We appreciate your time. Great stuff.
Jimmy's here. It's 3 o'clock. It's Wednesday. My cleaning folks have finished up and exited. So I feel so clean. Yeah. It's amazing. I don't know how we did without him. I think I'm on my third set of cleaning people. One said, Mr. Jim, because of price increases across the your bill will be increased 20%. Please let me know if you're I sent them a text back saying, forget it. Anyway, so you got this. So the first lady we had actually was spectacular. She I think ran by herself, if I remember correctly, and she worked twice as long. So if she came in at 12, she'd stay till 3:30, 3 o'clock. She got, I don't know what happened to her, but she needed rest. She was like exhausted. I don't know what she's doing, and her mother is sick and whatever. And I think she had trouble with how, that person would be dealt with, managed, taken care of, so to speak, when she's working. And that was, reliable, maybe unreliable. Anyway, she went down the hill and couldn't get out. So she asked, Mr. Jim, I need to resign. So, what are you going to say? She had my number. I said, please call me when you get back on your feet. So, I haven't heard. But, we have two now that are outstanding. And, things are... Yeah, we got 1,550 square feet, and they buzz through like. I mean, they got the mops and the strokes down on high speed. I mean, really, I'm not kidding. When they're doing the mops, they're like this. Slow down, take it easy. They come through here like locusts through Oklahoma. An hour and a half, boom, they're gone. Two of them. Very nice people from Brazil. And, if they said I need an increase, I give it to them. I don't know if I give them 20%. Give them 10%. And then give them another 10%. 20%. There are people that'll work for less. That's the problem. So, anyway, these people do a really good job, these ladies. And money is not an issue. I don't know how else to put it. There we go. My watch. 3:05. Yep. Yeah, that's the last one. That's all I had money for that. That's my latest signal. We went on, right at 3 o'clock sharp. I started getting ready. 220. It took me till 3:57 to have all my ducks in an order. Okay, we got. Talking about Ukrainian tanks. I don't know about this Ukrainian thing and the Biden thing and the Sun thing and Ukrainian money and he's on Burisma, which is the biggest. You haven't heard anything like that yet, right? Burisma. The Sun is on there with $1 million contract. $1 million divided by 12 is $83,333. Okay, if you're wondering how come they got to 83,000, that's $1 million divided by 12. Or you can take 83.33 and multiply it by 12, and you get $1 million. That's the deal. So, and he doesn't speak the language. He knows nothing about the geography of Ukraine. He doesn't know anything about the underneath, part of Ukraine with regard to, like oil exploration and all that. So, yeah, it's influence peddling. They're not paying him $1 million a year because he's got a pretty face, because sometimes his face is not so pretty. And I'd like to see the job description on what he is supposed to be doing. Doesn't matter, it's he doesn't know anything about it. He's got a drinking drug problem. They run together, and so he's not an efficient employee, as you would say. How are we doing over here? I don't think we need that light source, do we? No. How are we doing with this light? This full blast. We can turn that down a little bit. Yeah. We're turning our studio light down to some lower level, like that. I don't need bright lights. I'm not doing anything requires bright lights. So we'll get rid of that. And let's turn this baby back this way so we can see what time it is. Except for this sucker's right smack in the way. Well, that's too bad. It's 3:08 in round numbers. 3:08, 31, 3:08, 32, 33, 34, 35. And that clock is on the button. It's within 50 milliseconds of, whatever the real time might be. But 50, what's 50 milliseconds? We don't know how to we don't know how to buzz that fast. Boom, 3:09. So I've noticed that the TV channels are about a minute or two off. What? Sean thinks he'll be discharged tomorrow. Whatever that means. In other words, he's out. He's done with he's a reservist, so. So that means he doesn't have to worry about that piece of duty. West Point graduate, You know, he's a 15 year, 15 years sniper, sneaky bastard. He is the liberals' liberal. I mean, it's terrible. Oh God, you, you know, if you do not agree with him 100%, he's not happy. So he knows he can't change me, and he doesn't want to tolerate me. So when we show up, he hides upstairs, which is fine. You know, I go there to see Robin, and it'd be nice if he was, kind of normal, but he's not. I mean, he's a miracle. I've tried to talk to Robin about it, and she's, come on, Robin, who you think you're kidding here? I'm surrounded by a bunch of liberals with this family. We all, we all get along. That guy, no, he's not nice when it comes to his politics. And you can't, the whole news is politics, right? So you can't even watch a news channel, in the place if you're there. So you have to be like news. He says, we're not talking. I said, so what are we going to talk about? Your favorite color? Because there's not much, not much going on in the conversation department with that guy. Because you can't talk about any current events or anything because he'll turn it into some political thing. I said, Sean, take a breath. Jeez. Oh, God. Anyway, so that doesn't happen. And that's not the main focus of this broadcast. That's the time. It is 13 minutes. Yeah, 13 minutes after 3. That's the one I watch face. Look how pretty that is. You can just, you want to change your watch face? You just swipe one way or the other. You swipe that way. You swipe this way. I can swipe. Yeah, I've got like 10 different watch faces. Just, you can pick what you want. But that's a nice one. Yeah, Wednesday. It's the 25th. It's not the 24th. It's not the 26th. It's 25. Yesterday, tomorrow, today. The temperature range in sunny Boca Raton is from 71 to 82, and it's currently 82. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it'll probably it could edge up another degree before the end of the day. May stay steady where it's at. My blood alcohol is averaging 91%. Has that changed? So blood oxygen is something to watch. In this watch face, what it is, it shows 91% battery in my watch and 100% for my phone. Whenever I took this, clicked this image, I've walked 2,065 steps so far today. So all these little devices keep track of what's going on. Tesla is comfortably parked at 2300 Glaze Road, which is Maryland's office address. It's 85 degrees is in the interior. I have overheat protection activated, so it won't get over 90. And if it does, then the car will start to do things to make sure the temperature doesn't go over 90. Because we want our children medium rare. I'm just kidding. Slow cook. You don't want to get in a car that's been 140 degrees. The car will get up to 140. It's a black car, black interior. I mean, I don't know if the colors make a difference. Now we get all this classified document crap, which, when you're a senator, it's pretty hard to because you have to go into a skiff, to read a top secret document, which may come in a package, in a locked zip bag, like we had in the bank. And then once you get into the skiff, you have to leave your phone out of the skiff. Nothing that can take pictures can go into the skiff. And then you go in the skiff, and then you read whatever they give you, so you are now knowledgeable of whatever the hell they wanted you to be knowledgeable about, because something is ticking. And that's it. I mean, it's, to separate the package and you stuff stuff in your shirt. I mean, really? Well, that's about what you have to do. Now, with the people that are in the White House, so that's when you're a senator. And Marco Rubio got on his interview yesterday evening. And that's what he basically said. As a senator, he said, I'm a senator. It's pretty darn tough to get a top secret document, out of a skiff. Particularly if it's electronic, where you read it on a screen. And then you page through and then you say goodbye and you walk out and that's it. You can take notes, but you have to leave the notes behind. You can't. So then that puts in an envelope and then that's top secret. But when you're in the White House, vice president, president, secretary of defense, secretary of state, the four principal cabinet officers, let's just say cabinet officers. And, you meet in the White House, every day, every other day, in the Oval Office, and you're passing papers around and so forth. You could end up with something that ends up in your briefcase, and, oh, damn, this thing's in my briefcase. You take it out and you put it on your desk and say, sweetheart, would you send us to the archives? I don't want this here anymore. So then she gets busy. It doesn't happen. Blah, 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 yeah. It's just. They're talking about it right now.
Exactly what they deal with, and the caveat that Washington does have an overclassification problem. I covered the Pentagon for years.
Well, but that's not an excuse. That they're classifying too much. That's. All right, what's Robin saying here about respiratory putting on viruses? Oh.
Everyone's obviously comparing the number of documents, what the treatment was of them after they were found for these three top U.S. officials.
All righty. So maybe that's what I had. RSV, respiratory, syncytial virus, respiratory syncytial virus. I didn't have, you know, COVID-19. I didn't have that. The hospital. I took myself into a hospital a month ago or whatever. Not long ago. Because I was coughing in the chest and phlegm and with my age, you're not sure what's going on. Go in a hospital. I'm not taking any chance. I'm not going to be laying in bed, you know, uh, and then Marilyn finds me dead in the morning. No, let's not do that. Anytime sooner than when it's supposed to be. Yeah. Anyway, so I checked myself, walked right in. Here's my insurance cards. Here's my problem. I need to be fixed. I can't fix myself. I don't have, what it takes to stop whatever I have from, it's getting worse. So we need to do something so that it doesn't get worser. More worse. Anyway, so I was there for 4 days. Gosh, they were really climbing the walls with the fourth day. And they said, well, you can't leave unless you have oxygen. We did a test, and you walk around the hallway, and your oxygen level drops to, point to 87, 86, 85. That's too low. Your blood oxygen needs to be, like 95 to 100, not 85. And if it's 85, you got to turn on oxygen. We have a concentrator, and we have oxygen in the jets, and you're breathing oxygen at about 4 liters per minute. So, anyway. Oh, this guy. These guys are arguing why they should stay on the committee. Are you kidding me? These guys are like hacks. Standing up there, right, nice and tall and pretty. Yeah, you out of here. Look at she's pointing. Let me go into double view. Yeah, we can add a camera. Bingo. The camera will be my dad. You out of here. She's a tough cookie. She's the one that was running for governor in Arizona and missed. Not by a lot, but she missed. So she's, trying to, tighten up on the election. The mailing out all this stuff, that's crazy. Well, if they come in, they need to bring a government issued license, like a driver's license. And you can get a driver's license even if you don't drive. And most agencies in the state do not charge, people for those identifications. You need to go to a public library. You got to have a photo ID. But you don't need it for voting, really. That's the one way in which bad guys or all these refugees, we used to call them aliens, illegal aliens. That's exactly what they are. The M2 processor is like 17 billion transistors equivalents in the M2 processor. I didn't photocopy here, New York. Well, apparently Boeing is going to be happy because the military is going to want to buy these new. Look at that! That looks like something you'd see in a video game. That's an actual fighting machine being made by Boeing. For $50 million a copy or whatever they charge. You see all the armaments they have on each winglet. It's a helicopter, but it has winglets. wings. The jet engines here, they're protected with armor plating. That's the engines. Telecommunication stuff up in there, radar and whatever. But that's a interesting thing to learn how to fly. And here's, if you want to buy a Model Y now, I just did this Wednesday. Yep, I did it today. Earlier today, I did it at 10:45 a.m. The dual motor, 53,490. And get the microphone away from the TV. Oh, let's just turn it down. There we go. I can turn the volume down. Okay, so look at this. $2,000 for red. Black and white premium interior, which basically means white. Black accent pieces. 5 seats included. Autopilot included. Tow hitch, $1,000. So the vehicle price is $57,500. That climbed over, over 60, about 10,000 more than that. Pick up this gas savings crap. So anyway, 57,490. So you can modify the payment thing here. So you customize payment, you want to click on that always. Unless you want to put, write a check for $6,000 to close the deal. So anyway, I for the lease calculation, I put $500 down, and so the lease is financing the deal, and you got an order fee of $250, non-refundable. So we're on a lease. We've been current. It's automatic debit every month. No problems. I calculated a loan situation also. Here's the 53,490 plus 2 plus 1 for the white interior. Another one for the tow hitch. 57.5. Anyway, at least I have, and for about another, I don't know who does the financing, if it's a loan, or you have to do that yourself, or I'm not used to hearing stuff. My other headphones are noise canceling. These are not. I'm hearing the background, and that's loud. I have the washing machine going. It's apparently in the spin cycle, and hopefully it stays in the laundry room. Anyway, I was wondering why I can't see this. I don't have my glasses on. Oh, jeez. They're so dirty. Anyway, so with $500 down on a lease, the lease payment is $784 a month for 36 months. 3-year lease. They don't do it. And it says in the lease, you shall turn the car in. They're not going to let you buy it. And they're not going to let you play the market and all that kind of stuff. And they don't care. at the end of the lease term, you turn in the car, or you better have your wallet out. Well, I lost the car, whatever. You can't lose the car because they know where it is. It's, you know, the car is online with the company. If you can't mess around with these guys because they have the ability to turn off the car. Let's turn off Jimmy. They send a signal, goes through the entire network. Uh-oh, the car's down. The car won't start. It's electric. You go in there and you can't even get in it. You're locked out, and they wait for somebody to show up from the service center. They have the ability to, activate it, and they drive the car off. They don't have to do this towing business. Anyway, Swalwell. He got caught with a Chinese spy he was sleeping with. He didn't know any better. How would you know? There's lots of Asian girls in San Francisco. But one of them went after him, and he fell for it. And so for a number of years, he was pillow talking with the Chinese spy. It's amazing what they'll do. So there's the Model Y. See, it's in red. It's very attractive in red. And now they have a midnight red, a real deep red maroon, which could be even nicer. It could be. This is their standard red, which is still very red. It's not fire engine red, but it's red enough. That's my watch face if I choose. Yep, there it is. Same watch face. But pay attention to this. See this little heart right here with the zero with the zero? That is for blood pressure. It's in the program that's in this, but the device hasn't been activated or doesn't have the sensor. They're going to measure your blood pressure with the Apple Watch. No pressure. None of those cuffs that just squeeze your arm until the point stop it already, geez, So they've figured out a way of measuring, the blood pressure by the flow of the blood in the arteries and the time it takes to ricochet off the heart. They've got some kind of calculation, and it works. But hasn't worked enough. They're still in the prototype stage. I don't know if the current Model 8 has enough sensor things on the back of the watch. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the back of the watch. It's pretty tricky with. I'll try to hold it up to the camera so you can see what's going on here. How about if I put it near this? This is kind of like almost in focus. Camera's that way. You can see those 4 things. And then there's 4 other things. Let's put the watch on. Whoa. Let's try a little light. Go this way. Pull it back a little bit. You can see. There's a number of sensors. There's eight of them around in the inside, and then there's 2 rings. There's a lot of. There we go. Let's see if we can get that back. Let's turn this up just a tad. The watch goes on this way. So we have at least 3 executive officers that have trouble with their with returning top secret documents. Ends up, like the GSA, the government services, when it's time for you to leave the White House, the GSA comes, packs up your stuff. Where would you like this delivered? You give them an address, and they deliver it. And they don't decide which paper is what. They just, your entire office ends up in Mar-a-Lago, and which there was like 14, cases of stuff. All the pictures on the back of the, that's the easy part. But all the drawers, if you use the drawers, and, after 4 years in office, some of those drawers end up with things in there. And they end up in a box, and they end up in your, in the case of our current president, in your garage next to your Corvette, which Sonny Boy is locked. Oh, your garage door is locked. Okay. But if a softball or something is left in there and it comes down and it comes against the softball, whoop, it goes back open. Meantime, you've driven off with the girls and the garage is open all day long and you got top secret stuff in the box in the garage. Oh, God. So we need, the laws are fine. It's just these guys have a tough time trying to follow their procedures. So I think what we need, if I was a senator or a congressman, because if you started changing laws or administrative practices, I would say there needs to be supervision. In other words, a sworn officer, someone with top secret clearance, needs to accompany the GSA when they pack up someone's office. If you're in a VP or a president, in which your term is over and you need to pack up your stuff and get out. Well, the GSA takes care of that. They got an agency, it's Government Services Administration, GSA. So there needs to be somebody with them so they can, briefly just sort through some of the papers to see, top secret, it's in an envelope, it says red, top secret. It's not like it's disguised, where it's, where you got to go through, 10,000 sheets of paper to figure out which one is the top secret one. It's real clear. It's in a folder that's bigger than your paper. It's like 9 by 12 or 9 by 15. So it's, 15 by 10. Yeah. So it could be, that's the package that the top secret stuff goes in. Then it's got a zipper and then it's got a lock and, all that stuff. So when you get a top secret document, paper, it's real clear what's inside. So if you're not, in a skiff or you're not in a designated area where you're allowed to look at the stuff, because you can't be out on a park bench, and you read it and some guy that's a mile away with a long lens can take a picture of what you're seeing over the back of your shoulder. There's all kinds of, spies are spies. So when you're in a skiff, all those things are taken into account so that people can't look over your shoulder and so forth. This light keeps coming on. Get out of here. Oh boy. So anyway, that's your Model Y. This our car lease is up in 15 months. So we have to start thinking about the next Tesla if we're going to have a next Tesla. I mean, we don't order it now. Look at that cat. Those eyes. That is one heck of a cat. She's saying, I'm not quitting. Fungu. Yeah. Is she part Italian? I don't know, but she is making it clear that she ain't going anywhere fast. Lee Trevino says, if it's lightning really bad and you're out, if you get caught on the golf course during a thunder and lightning storm and you're afraid of lightning, hold up a 1-iron. Not even God can hit a 1-iron. Lee Trevino is a piece of work. He's got another saying, and he basically says 95% of all short putts don't go in. I mean, you think about it and you say what? It's 100% of all short. That's the definition of shorts. It didn't get there. And so he says 95% of all short putts don't go in. That's crazy. These microphones are so sensitive. I tap on this big, heavy, this base on this thing is solid cast iron. I mean, it is cast iron. And then it's, sorry for all the noise. It has this paint finish on, very attractive paint finish, but you can't touch it. If you touch it, you hear all that. I mean, just rubbing your finger on there, it makes all kind of. It goes right into there, and it starts vibrating all the insides of this incredibly sensitive microphone. Now I can hold it steady. Hold on a minute. So I turned the volume all the way down. So now I got. There we go. Now I got the microphone in my hand, and I'm not holding this thing, which is, makes a lot of racket if you move it around. So if I don't need two hands, I gotta just keep this sucker in my hand. That way, when I want to get real close, I can just get real close. Ooh, this thing couldn't hear you breathe, even before you breathe. Look at this. This is a SIG. I got Sig Sauer on my microphone. Oops. This is a SIG. When you buy the gun, so you end up with 3 magazines. This already has a threaded barrel because the piece is longer than the slide, and the threads on the barrel are protected with this thing. You unscrew that and you screw on your silencer if you happen to have a silencer, which the government is investigating me to see if I can have a silencer. So it's a $200 stamp. They charge you a $200 stamp. Like a postage stamp. Well, this is a concealed. No, this is a noise suppressor. Screws on the end of a gun, or handgun, rifle, and it makes less noise than if you didn't have one on. The blast from a handgun like this is, probably 160 decibels. enough to really give you a headache if they did it near your ear. It could blow your eardrum, possibly. Well, it brings that down to 127 decibels, which is, you know, not as quiet as the movies. The movie quiet is really quite imaginary because there aren't any suppressors that eliminate all the noise. The machinery of the gun itself makes some noise. So the suppressor, so when you shoot it, you don't make yourself crazy with all this noise, from what you would expect if you had a handgun in your hand. Bang, With a suppressor, it takes some of the bang out of the bang. It reduces it about 40 or 50 decibels. So it was 170 decibels, brings it down to 120, round numbers. Typical blast, I forget what that number is, but with the suppressor on, the sound level is 127 decibels, within 12 inches of the muzzle. So this gun right here already has a threaded barrel. Most guns you can buy a threaded barrel. The gun itself, 6R or, Glock. That kind of weapon right there has a 4-inch barrel. So to have a suppressor on a handgun, it needs a 4.5-inch barrel, and that extra half inch is what's going to stick out there. See, there it is. I happen to have one. Just happen to have one right here. Let's see if we can move around some of this stuff so I can get to it. I guess I can lean that against that against that. Here we go. Here's my friend. This is a Glock. A classic. Oops. Flat top. Oh, let's turn down this. We don't care about this trail. He shot his wife and one kid. Or they think they can prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. So here's a Glock. I guess now this is the time to turn up the, what do you call it? The light. These pistols are almost black. But if I hold just so I can read this, the barrel has the same. All right, hold on a second. There we go. I put the sound all the way down to so we don't aggravate you with that sound. So let's bring this out a little bit. Pull this back a little bit. There we go. Aim it down. Pull the trigger. It's empty, but I don't want a cocked gun. See, so here's the number on the barrel. Whoops. 551. The serial number on the slide. 551. BYCN. And then notice the tip of the gun. Just like we see here. With that microphone, we go right up this way. And could we get the autofocus to focus on it? Not really. See, this is what unscrews. And then you screw on the silencer. And it makes it so it doesn't make so much noise. So this is what's interesting about this particular Glock from the factory. There you go. See, from the factory. Oops, on the white background, which is getting dirty with this silicone stuff. Is that the barrel is numbered just like the slide. All barrels are numbered. So in case it's involved in any kind of altercation, they can trace the, the grooves. They can, micro-examine how the grooves acted upon the bullet as it passes out of the handgun. If I put this back in, it'll stay open. This would typically have a 4-inch barrel. Now it's got a 4.5-inch barrel to accommodate the threads and an extra 1/8 of an inch. So that when you screw on the silencer, it's not going to now interfere with the slide. The barrel, has its own little suspension system. Anyway, so the other interesting thing is that the rear sight, it's elevated. It looks about 3/16 of an inch, and the front sight same way. You got that big sucker sitting up there. See with my finger. That would normally be half that size, half that height. These are all installed in the factory. So they're expecting you're going to put a suppressor on this. The barrel is included with purchase as a threaded barrel. So you don't have to spend extra money to get a threaded barrel. And they've already raised the sights so that when you have this thing on here that's an extra almost an inch in diameter down on this barrel, you'd be able to still sight with it. The sights are designed to have a suppressor on there. And then I can just pull this back a little bit. I notice the orange. So that means there are no more bullets. I'm going to pull this back. So now we're all in a relaxed situation. Wrap it back up in my trusty sheepskin. Just wrap that up. And put it down here. I actually keep it in this briefcase for now. I'm keeping it out because I'm waiting for Daniel to get over here so I can show it to him. With the sights and everything. Okay. Just reading some Robin stuff. All right, so what else we got? Photographic stuff. So Trump is probably going to have a rally of some kind somewhere. I forget where it's going to be. But we're about ready for a Trump rally, aren't we? We haven't heard from him in a while. If he wants to be president, he needs to settle down a bit and not be so wacky. I mean, I'd rather have him in there right now than anyone else I can think of. Anyway, there's a bunch of Teslas up on these things as the car passes through inspections and, makes the turn and then ends up getting the wheels put on and the drive unit's not installed yet. The battery pack is, I don't know, I can't tell if it's, that's probably not, that gets inserted from underneath. I don't think that's installed yet either. This is the volume weighted average lithium ion battery pack and the cell price split, from 2013. You see how the price of the pack and the cost per cell. It's come down to about 108. I guess that's dollars. Yes, $2,022. So it's 108 per cell, or $33 per pack. This is the lithium ion, the lithium contribution. There's more lithium on the planet than almost anything except for hydrogen. H2O, there's water everywhere. So you got NaCl, you got a salt water. So you got a lot of sodium, you got a lot of chlorine, you got a whole lot of hydrogen and oxygen. And down the list, not far, is lithium. There's lithium everywhere, And so the difference between the United States and the Congo is the refining. There's no lithium plants around here in North America or South America for that matter. So you can mine the lithium, but where are you going to refine it? Extract it from the ore in a suitable, slurry, so that it could then be processed for the purpose of using it in a battery. And that's anyway. So I got some graphics here because Tesla is having their earnings report right after the close of the bell, which is going to go bing bong. Let's go back to my clock. Clock, where are you? Not Glock. Clock. There's the clock. It's 3:58. My little investment thing is all cash. I'm not taking any chances with the stupid stock market. So in 2 minutes, they're going to go bing, 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 and close down the market at 4 o'clock, right? And then we'll probably hear about Tesla. Let's see. Let's get Ameritrade. What do we want? This one, Sink or Swim. Sink or Swim. That's an app. Oh crap! No. We want Ameritrade because it's designed for an iPad. Okay, we want to log in because we want immediate. Oh crap! All right, let's do that. Oh. It's trying to get Face ID. Not too sure where the camera is in this thing. Let's try it again. Let's just go with the password. There we go. All right, so we're 3:59:39. So in a couple of 15 seconds, market closes. Anyway, so you can see it up there on the panel. DJII very close to a break even. Apple is, yep, that's it. Tesla closed at $144 a share. Telephone is at 20. This medical products and BW, an interesting company. They buy medical buildings and lease them to like dentists, doctors. They have offices all over the country. And just looking at some of these, Microsoft is recovered. I mean, it was way down at the opening. Here, see if I click on this. And we're going to give me a chart. Look at this. It was way down here at $230 a share, and now it's up to $242. So this is multi-day. Let's just do one day. Yep, there it is. So it opened at 242 and it ended up at 242. But on the way, it took people down to 230. So people that were trading this, with options, if you're on the right side of that option, you could have made a lot of money. Tesla. Let's do Tesla. One day. And look at the chart. So now this is the aftermarket trading. So I'm going to expand this view. So we really don't have any aftermarket trading activity yet. It's 402, yeah. 402.10, yeah. The clock on my road is tuned into the time that's embedded in the internet. Now this Apple, this time is taken right from the satellites. So it's super accurate, within 50 milliseconds of the National Bureau of Standards. Milliseconds is a very little tiny piece. So and all these people are going. Director of National Intelligence briefs the Senate today about whatever. So here's the aftermarket trading. What little we can see so far. And it's, you look all the way over here, 144.64. Well, you can see the bid and ask up here. Yeah. So it's trading up 85 cents from the close. Is that right? And this is on the belief that, I don't know, you see that stair step down? That's very scary. There's a 1 month. Let's condense this back up if I can. I guess I can't. But, it's up here at 240. It was down to almost 100. I tried to buy some at 105, couldn't quite get there fast enough. We're going to go through a recession. There's going to be enough people, to buy. As long as these guys keep making good cars, there's going to be enough people to buy them, even if there is a recession. People may not buy Chevys, but the people that want a car are going to buy Teslas because they're fantastic. So, but someone might not get that Cherokee they'll wait if things aren't very nice. Their Tesla was up at around 310, down to $124 a share. Those people have taken if they're still there, took a licking. And it's, stair steps. It keeps, going down and down and down. People are unloading that stock. And I know, to me, the recession shouldn't turn them off because people are going to buy the Teslas. They're just going to do it. There's enough people to buy them. And right now they can't make them fast enough. Now, the time that it takes for you to get one has shrunk. And that's collapsed, from 4 months down to 1 or 2 months. But that also has to do with the fact that making the batteries faster, the actual cells that go in the pack, and the whole line moves quicker. So there's more cars coming out of the back door of the factory, finished, and ready to go on the parking lot, and then on delivery vehicles to go on train stations or whatever. At one point, they didn't have enough trucks to get the cars off the parking lot. There just weren't enough of them. You can get the cab, but you couldn't get the carrier, the thing that the cars go on or in. So I don't know if they solved that problem, but and Tesla is trying to make the front part of the truck, the part with the engines and everything. But they're trying to deliver units to like Pepsi and FedEx and UPS, and they got 20 or 30 people that have ordered these cars. Trucks, and this takes a while. Now they're starting to deliver them. So, I think they've delivered maybe 20 or 25 to Pepsi. They just started delivering them last week. And I haven't heard any big reasons why these companies would not be delighted with an electric, a 100% electric tractor trailer. So instead of them going through the gears and putting all that carbon monoxide and unspent diesel fuel that goes into the air, and oh my God, you're talking about polluting the air. Now, Tesla's got an answer for that. They have an electric truck. And, they have electric garbage trucks if they had a demand for it. But right now they're going to be tractor trailers because, there's a huge supply of those. And if you can make a dent in the number of tractor trailers that are electric rather than diesel, that's going to make a heck of a difference in our, in the atmosphere. That's a meaningful contribution of something that'll clean up the atmosphere without having to turn off, society. Yeah. Good for Elon. Anyway, so I haven't seen any blips on volume, so apparently they haven't released. Usually these companies release, like Apple. They don't push the button until about 4:30. They make sure everything's right. They get the final signatures from the accountants on the paperwork, and then they look around and say, "All right, guys, we're comfortable with this." And you push the button, it goes public. I mean, I've been there. I'm the CEO of a bank holding company, and the bank holding company is the one that everyone. That's the financial statement that everyone goes after because all the assets from the bank come up through the holding company and you look at the watch and say, all right, well, sitting around a conference room, everybody comfortable with this? All in favor? Say aye. They all say aye. Any opposed? No one is opposed. It's been passed by unanimous vote. Not anonymous vote, unanimous vote. So therefore, actually, I had the girl on the phone. Said, "Okay, go live." They push a button. That financial statement hits the SEC, and immediately it gets to Wall Street. And as soon as you push the button, it's because the financial statement's all numbers and letters. And those bip puppies go really fast. You know, um, you might have a little bit of graphics. Like with your logo, but there's not much graphics in a financial statement. There's a lot of words and a lot of numbers and columns and spaces and all that. But that goes. By the time you push the button, it's on your screen. On the screen that the world sees, not the screen that's internal to the bank. All right, so it's 1 hour and 12 minutes since we started this conversation. Discussed a few things. Showed you the Glock with a factory equipped, I should say, front and rear sight, and the threaded barrel that would accompany a silencer if you were capable of having a silencer. So anyway, I have a silencer on a Model 17, a model on this one, and I have a threaded barrel for the Model 43, which really is quite a compact gun if you're into concealed carry in a big way. All right, so we're going to end this show, and we will talk to you. We don't hear any of the background.
The Attorney General is part of that.
And Jonathan Turley, he knows what he's talking about. So anyway, I'm delighted that you joined, and we'll do this again tomorrow. But meantime, you guys have a nice evening. It's 4:13 p.m. Bye-bye.
All right. It is wild. For those of you wondering what you're looking at here, the Director of National Intelligence is sitting down with members of the Senate Intelligence Committee, sort of giving them an update.
Bye-bye.